Yeah. So we are here today to actually look at and reflect on the learnings from this book. We'll just first go through the brief summary of the book that I have prepared. Then I would want that we should read part of the book together, just few pages or few sections, so that one understand how this can be used as a workbook, or it can be used as a a reference book for whatever changes that we want at an emotional level. After that, we will open it for sharing in particular to this book, and then finally we'll open it up more so how you relate it with the other learnings that you have or other books that you have read. So the reason I picked up this book is, first, when it comes to emotions, I think there are three levels one has to travel. One is emotional management, where one has to understand how the emotions have to be managed at the energy level. Second would be understanding how you want to actually convey or constructively convey your emotions through your communication, through your actions. And third aspect is gaining the emotional intelligence, or using the self-knowledge in understanding and working around your goals when you have interaction with others. So how you are emotionally intelligent to utilize others, understanding their emotions, where they come from and what are their motivations. So when I look at these three layers, the primary thing is how you actually handle your emotions. So that's the reason I had picked up this book. I hope everybody is able to see the screen. Is my presentation
Yes,
visible?
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So with this background, I would like to move into this book, but before that, I would like to just talk about certain things which I would like to connect here, or which I connected when I was reading this book. So this book actually shows us the mirror of how you look at yourself and how are you actually looking at the world around you. Second, it also talks about the patterns. So we get into certain patterns of behavior and we actually attract certain situations towards us. And if you see, there is certain pattern attached to it. So emotions, the way we handle it, the way we conduct ourselves in different attitudes is somewhere the attracting point of these patterns and these situations. If anybody of you have read the book Karma by Sadhguru, I think he talks about this also, this in a different manner in terms of karma, basically, that we have something like karma at a physical, mental, and energy level. So it is nothing but the pattern. So Sadhguru says the suffering that we have in our lives is basically one due to suppression. When you suppress something, you're actually not actively living life, right? Life is just passing by. So the word suppression is one thing which we have to understand, not to suppress the emotions. Second is, what is that creates the suffering? Now, when it comes to the body, the suffering is sometimes inevitable because it is more as the pain that is getting generated and we don't have any control over it. Yeah, of course, we have medicines, but pain as such we can't control. Second, that suffering which is created by our mind, that is something is within our control. And the third aspect is suffering due to the imagination that we have. So Sadhguru says that we suffer because of our memory, because of our patterns, the way we have formed patterns. And also due to our imagination, how we foresee the future bases the lens of the past. So this is the disconnect which he tries to bring out, and that's how our patterns are formed. That's how we attract situations towards us. So if one has to break it, one has to actually understand that these patterns are things that are happening and there are triggers behind it. I think even Tony Robbins emphasizes this, that you have to identify your patterns, see which patterns are not working, and you have to try and try to change the patterns which are not working for you and attract the right things. This book actually also talks about the Indian philosophy it connects to, and that is where we come to the basic point that our very core, the soul that we have, is nothing but it is joy and love and peace. So we are here to actually enjoy joy, love, and peace, but somehow we tend to dabble into the other three emotions which the author emphasizes is anger, sadness, and fear. So once in a while these emotions coming, and it is obvious that these emotions are there for a purpose, but if it becomes the background of the life that we are living, that is where we have to be careful. So I think this is what this book talks about, changing from the unconscious way of living or a compulsive way of living to a more conscious way of living. Yeah. So why to read this book? So as I have already covered, it's more of a emotional work. It appeals to the emotional body, and how do we reshape it? The author emphasizes that one has to express emotion not only in via communication, but physically it has to be released, and constructively it has to be conveyed in our communication as well as our actions. It also appeals to replacing habitual way of living, habitual negative way of thinking, access and follow your natural intuition. There is a total one chapter which is dedicated to intuition. I would say that I think that is the most important chapter for me in this book. And, that's where a step by step, a thing which we don't believe much, we don't think about, and which is not very obvious is intuition. So we have to actually try to gauge and we have to understand it better, is what I could conclude on. Then better way of communicating. So when I have to have a life which is full of joy, love, and peace, which is my focus point. Maybe everything will not fall under this, but my focus point in life, if has to be, my background in life has to be joy, love, and peace, then there is better way of communicating with people, which is the 4 rules that the author has given us. Then how do we handle stuck situation and unhealthy attitudes? So as I just mentioned, over a period of time, based on our memory, our experience, our past, our way of coping, the way we are have programmed ourselves to behave, there are ways that we need to, there are reasons that maybe there has to be some change in these attitudes. If we are aware of this and we become conscious and attempt to make a change, how do we make a change is what this book talks about. Stuck situation and unhealthy attitude is part of the almost the half of the book that this book is about. So it focuses on that especially. Now coming to the core concept of the book, as I told you, the author first thing is all issues stem from unexpressed emotions. There are 3 destructive emotions: sadness, anger, fear. Constructive emotion, joy, love, peace. Now, one has to understand, even we say destructive, these emotions are there. There will be sadness, there will be anger, and there will be fear. On the other hand, we have constructive emotions, joy, love, and peace, which are actually a mirror image of these, or I would say these should be replaced. Sadness should be replaced by joy, anger should be replaced by love, and fear should be replaced by peace. Instead of should, I can say could. Joy can take the place of sadness, love can take the place of anger, and peace can take the place of fear. So, for making this change, what do I have to do? First, I have to release the emotions energy, the energy that emotions carry. Emotions are basically energy, hard to control, so we have to actually expend it. So there are various ways in which we can do that. That has to happen. This is required because we need to get into a space where we can think clearly and we don't travel forward with a baggage. What happened in the past no more sticks to us, or at least we do a reasonable settlement with the past that this is how I would like to carry this lesson forward. And then it has to combine with the right action. So when the action is done, you will either communicate effectively, constructively, what the emotions are trying to express, and also show it in the actions that you are undertaking. This releases the emotional heat, clears your mind, and helps you respond calmly instead of creating conflict. No more dramas. I hope my pace is okay and I'm audible well and you're
Yes,
able
yes,
to.
yes. Very clear and very effective. So please continue.
Okay. So, as I've told you, the author talks about three destructive emotions. Sadness. Now, when the sadness and joy, in both cases, they are poles apart, but in both the cases, the focus is on the self. Right? When it hits sadness, it says feeling is of not being enough. So, when I feel about myself not being enough, that is the tendency of sadness. Remember, the focus is on the self here. Now, the anger. When anger comes, generally the focus is on others. When I say others, it is other people and outside situation. So it is not you anymore. It is the world around you. So you are wrong. So basically, the point that is coming out is we are not okay. We are somewhere resisting, not accepting. Somewhere we are not okay with the reality that we are facing. So you are wrong, right? Fear. Now here the focus is on time. Now what time are we focusing on when the fear is there? Either the past. In the past, we have got some kind of a trauma, some incident happened, we carry it with us, and we feel the fear for it. Or the future. Based on my past, I project, or there is an uncertainty that I feel about the future that also instills fear within me. So, what if this will happen? What if that will happen? What if what I desire will not happen? So, all this creates fear. So, what does these emotions, why these emotions become destructive is mostly because it easily are high energy utilizing. In sadness, we can't say, but anger and fear are basically it rattles your body. So, these emotions distort your perception, and based on your memory that you have, the past experience that you have built, and the attitudes you will tend to, your attitudes get built over the period. They become a pattern and it's a loop. You keep on running in this loop, it gets stronger and stronger. It's difficult to step out of this loop unless and until you take certain action about it. Now, coming to constructive emotion. So, if you say these are the destructive, what can one do then? So, why not adopt joy? Honor yourself. So, if you see sadness is feeling not enough, see what is enough for you. How do you define how you will be capable of being enough in your own eyes? Try to understand, is there a distorted thing that you are good, you can do better, there are certain improvement points always, but then you are enough for what is the challenge that is coming. So this replaces sadness. Love, accept others for what cannot be changed in others, and try to change things which can possibly change. So this will replace anger. Peace. How can you bring in peace? Stay present and specific. So as Sadhguru says, I would say plainly, just witness what is happening and what is important in what is happening. It will replace fear. These becomes the ultimate attitudes. So in this book, you will see that there are sequences of threes that are mentioned. So 3 constructive emotions, 3 destructive emotions, and 3 ultimate attitudes. Coincidentally, we are also on the 3rd week, and this is our final session there. Okay. So basically, these are emotions now. Now, how do we actually bring out these emotions? We have 5 tools to bring out these emotions. One is emotions itself, that is the energy part of it, thoughts, intuition, speech, action. With these 5 tools, we choose to express an emotion, ignore or consult our intuition, make a remark, or act out what we are feeling. So basically, these tools we use to express the emotions. So if you see in part 1 and part 2, it talks about in the book about emotions. What are the points in joy, love, and peace, as well as in anger, in fear, and in sadness. And finally, it talks about these tools and how, in the second part mainly, and how we have to efficiently use these tools in a better manner so that we can express our emotions better. So as I would have told a couple of times or many times in this discussion so far, that healthy emotional expression requires that you have to physically release these emotions, that is restrictive emotions. Sadness by crying without criticizing self. So you'll have to have the clarity that you have to not criticize yourself. So bring in that self understanding. What are your limits? What you can do, what you cannot, what is important for you? Is it really important, or it is just something that you hold dear, but it's actually not dear. So these aspects of self understanding is very crucial for sadness, because it is targeted at what you are and what you feel about yourself and how you carry yourself with it. So crying is how you can express that, release it physically. Now you would say crying in public is not visible, okay, but you will have to understand that this release has to happen at least later in private. So that's how this book says that there has to be a release of these emotion and not allow a build up, because ultimately if the emotions get built up, you might have some disease because of that. Anger, safe physical release. So there are different ways in all the 3 which have been shared. I'm just giving this just as a pointer. So pounding is something, take a telephone directory and just hit it, or take a pillow and hit it, so that that aggression, that energy is released, which is coming out of anger. For fear, shivering and shaking is what is recommended by the author. Now, what does all this releasing do? Releasing clears thinking. You will treat yourself well, right? At least that energy, once released, gives space for clear thinking. Increase the good vibes you feel and influence the world around you each time you engage in activities that elevate your state, right? So I think people who are here, I think all are knowing about NLP. So when NLP talks not of emotions per se, but it talks about state management, and in state management, emotion is what is actually playing the part. Yeah. Now, changing negative thinking, though there is a specific section which talks about changing negative thinking. So how do we stop this? Replace with truthful statements. So when I say truthful statements, these are statements which are universal truths, kind of like, which you can adopt, which are actually distorted in your mind right now, but you have to have a bit of more understanding and clarity, so that these beliefs which are distorted, actually they are opened up, and you open up yourself for a better way of thinking, and understand and acknowledge the universal truths. So example, if I constantly feel I'm not enough, you're always enough, right? It is just that there might be a requirement to be better, and you can be better, but you are always enough. As such, people try their best in any situation, but we keep on blaming somebody, or we are actually getting judgmental, or rather frustrated on things not working out, and people not actually sincerely doing things, but they try their best, and we have to acknowledge or accept that certain things, that's the way they are, and all make mistakes is the one or the other thing that comes to my mind. So understanding that also helps, and I can handle this also, gives a boost in case of uncertainty, that whatever in the past I have has been thrown towards me, I have managed it some or the other way, and I can manage anything that comes up in the future as well. So understanding, so basically what I took away from changing negative thinking is basically weeding out these distorted strong beliefs that we have, and a misunderstanding of the truths, that how the world functions and how normally things work. So we have to actually do this weeding and clear our thoughts, and reflect on actually what pattern we are building. And actually, if you see, many of the patterns are just this kind of a negative thinking pattern, which if removed, which will actually reduce a lot of anger and fear related things. Now attitudes, when we say attitude, what we mean here is that over a period there is a background that you set for your life. So is it the background of joy, is it the background of love, or is it the background of peace that you always approach life with? So generally we have somewhere more part of sadness, somewhere more part of anger, and somewhere more part of fear, right? It depends upon degrees and percentages, but that's how we color our background of life. So we have to understand what is a destructive attitude which is actually not helping us, and it is not aligning with how the world works or how things are. So you keep actually hitting your head against the reality of life. You're not able to acknowledge, so you blame, you criticize, you try to control everything, because you have to without understanding that certain things are beyond. There is some self-doubt that creeps in. There is a lot of resistance to acceptance of reality, or anything for that matter. If a slight change is there, a lot of resistance you have, and avoidance. So some of it, if you see, is naturally which will come, like resistance for any change will naturally come, but we have to go beyond. So we have to understand and demarcate ourselves. How have we colored our background of life? What are the shades we have applied, and what needs a reapplication? So what can be more constructive is acceptance, kindness, openness, self-acceptance, willingness to change or willingness to do things, engagement, engage in more positive, in a more collaborative, in more compassionate. So this reminds me of one quote by Aristotle, and if you have read the Emotional Intelligence book by Daniel Goleman, this is the first quote that the book says. Anybody can be angry, because that's the natural emotion that we have. That is easy. But to be angry with the right person, to the right degree, and at the right time, and for the right purpose, and in the right way, that is not within everybody's power, and it is not easy. So while acknowledging we all have emotions and we use our own ways of handling it, there is always a better way to do it. Yeah. So how do we remodel our attitude? How do we paint the background of our life with better pictures of joy, love, and peace? So identify what attitude you want to change. Is it destructive? If destructive, yes. How do you release the emotion which has been a trigger for that attitude, or has been the story behind the attitude? Replace the unhelpful thoughts that are holding this attitude together. Some distorted belief, some unaccepted truths, right? You have to replace it with the truths, and then act constructively. Then based on this understanding, you have to slowly implement it. In this book, the author says you have to see the right time for implementing anything. You have to see the right context to implement it, and you have to see that we will all go with our own pace. So have the patience and also the courage to consistently, in spite of failing, come back, try again, and repeat, and try to remove the attitude, if possible, totally from your background of life. So far clear, right? The pace is fine. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now, 4 rules of communication. I think this book ties everything beautifully because of this one concept. 4 rules of communication. So how do we communicate? Because if you see in the tools, one is speech, and how do we actually effectively use our speech is what 4 rules of communication talks about. Talk in eyes, talk your truth, talk what is relevant to you. Here they have additionally given I5, a concept I5, which is actually a concept which the author has derived from the non-violent communication language of compassion, which is actually was designed by Marshall Rosenberg. So she has actually modified it a bit and she has adopted it here, right? So it talks about certain step of way in which you phrase or you put forth your point whenever you forth the point from your perspective, right? So there are 5 steps to it, or 5 aspects to it, that you would just go through in the book. Then be specific. So you have to be specific to the situation, to what is happening right now in the present. Be kind, right? So this has to be there, that you have to look from a kindness perspective, from a compassionate, or rather from a understanding. Try to understand your situation and the others, and listen deeply. So L. The 4 rules apply to how we talk to ourselves and others. This is just taken from the book. It is, even your self talk has to be kind. You have to actually listen deeply to understand where your issues are coming from. You have to be specific. Don't generalize with yourself that yesterday you didn't do it, so today you will not be able to do it. And what you deeply want, again, you have to be very understanding of yourself to understand that. So even in your self talk, in yourself, when you reflect back, you can try and use this rule with others also. You can apply this. Now, whether you can apply this in office, yes, maybe in gradual steps you can do that. They work regardless of the nature of the relationship, professional, personal, close, how long we have been in it, how many people are in a conversation, or how painful the topic is. So if you see, it is structured in a manner that you are focused on what is important, and second, you are focused on what can possibly done. So it is more of giving a positive tone to it, being specific and present to what is happening right now, and looking from a perspective of how would you help the situation, right? So I find this rule very useful, and I would say very, very important for us to keep in mind. Gives us a structure to work with, basically. Now, when you improve your own communication, when your speech is better, when your actions are in alignment with what you actually feel and what you want to convey, then what happens is we also try to understand other person's perspective, right? And what happens if we see that other person is also angry at times, he's in a sad mood, or he's in a mood where he's having a fear. So how do we actually help these people with the understanding that we have now come to, that we can look at joy in such case, we can look at love in such case, and we can look at peace in such case. So how do we do it? So for that also, to help others and to build a good framework to communicate with others, there are 3 bridges. If you see that the other person who is talking is coming from anger, then speak with I statement. So this will reduce the blame. The person might have felt that something has violated or somebody is blaming, so it reduces the blame and lowers the defenses, right? If the person is fearful, then offer reassurance and structure. Why structure? Because the person may not be very grounded right now out of the fear. So helps the person feel safe, grounded, and supported. You are safe. I'm here. Let's take it step by step. Maybe here a bit of a pause, bit of a just a presence can also help the person to come out of that zone. For sadness, offer connection and appreciation. Validates feelings and brings warmth. I care, I understand, you matter. So, whenever you have interaction with people, using the right bridge at the right moment transforms communication from reactive to compassionate, in turn to constructive. Right? Constructive will be win-win for both the person, even if it is not a great win-win, but it's a good conversation to have. At least. Right now this book talks about lot of strategies other than this, and 3 specific worksheets I think will help everyone. Is worksheet for replacing destructive thoughts with the truths that I was telling, that is one, the first exercise rather, what you are required to do after the I think the first exercise is identify where you fall under which bucket, that is whether you are more angry, sad, or fearful. So that's the first quiz. After that, this worksheet comes that how do you replace destructive thoughts with truths? And then the next important thing is action worksheet for stuck situations. So how do you handle the stuck situations and how do you change old habits, right? So for this, uh, the modus operandi is that you identify, you release the emotions, you plan what should be in the place, you know replace the destructive thoughts, and then you bring it into the behavior, what kind of behavior you want to reflect or what is the action that you want to take. And this you have to gradually do it, but do it. And then even if you fail, you come back, you have to repeat. So whatever I had shared earlier, attitude change, similar process is going to be there for stuck situation as well as changing old habits. Now, when you look at this book, always I could relate with the point of peace very much, because peace is something which we want to take. Okay, let's save our energy. Let's be have our peace of mind. Let's not get into small things. Let's look at the larger picture. But the book made me think of whether there is enough joy in my life, whether there is enough love that I am conveying it in the right manner in life. So, our definitions of joy, love, and peace may vary. So, let us try and understand what each stands for us. So, that reflection I would like you all to do personally. Based on the book, joy would stand for appreciation, gratitude, playfulness, and self acceptance. Gratitude only, I would say, very late I could understand that gratitude is for appreciating whatever we take it for granted, what life has automatically given us, and we just take it for granted. Unless and until we lose it, we don't see the value of it. So gratitude, I hold it topmost. But at the same time, self acceptance is very, very important. You have to have a greater understanding of yourself and be compassionate as well as be accept as you are, right? So this was a very important part of the book that I could it helped me to understand how I can bring in more joy. So see what is the definition of joy right now that you hold within. Similarly for love, for me the experience said that love, we think we are all loving people, caring people, kind people, compassionate people. But this book made me think, how do I convey it? Am I conveying it in a manner that it's not healthy, or is it in a manner that it's really uh, worth exerting, the love that we have to express, or the way we convey? So how does my communication show this kindness or this love, is what made me question it. So now I'm more mindful. So here is where the author also states the importance of words. Words that we use are very important. They can make things, they can break things, and in our mind as well as for others. So we have to be careful of the way we are interpreting things and the words that we are using. So for love, it stands for compassion, forgiveness, empathy, kind communication. Kind communication is still something it's have to work on. Forgiveness, yes, as well. Yes, all the four, I would say. Yeah, peace. So peace, this definition got a bit more wider. It should have trust. I would say it can have trust. It can have more simplicity. It can have more mindfulness, and it can have lot of letting go. So this is what the book, suggests, or this is my interpretation from the book for these specific emotions. I would like you all to have your own interpretation and build your own vocabulary or understanding of these three emotions. Yes. Finally, the author asks us to have an emotional hygiene, reflect, have a habit of, going back and seeing how we can do better. There is a there is a um, there is a specific pointers that the author has given where we could take care of our emotional health and do a periodic check-in as well. Then rebuild the attitudes which are destructive. You might not realize, but they are falling under the destructive categories. Practice joy, love, peace. Look at the definitions that you hold today. Integrate it into relationships. So once you actually understand joy, love, and peace, see how you can bring it to relationships. See how you can bring it into the environment that you have around yourselves. See maybe further how you can bring it into your work as well. And the habits, how do you build good habits, or you see habits as more holistic manner, that what is actually slowly building you up, right? So with this we can, I will just take a pause here, and we'll come to this discussion prompts a bit later. Yeah, anybody would like to add something here? Anything that they would like to share before I move on to the next part of the discussion?
No, actually, I'm totally mesmerized by your share and the way you have put the book through, and it's very, very. I'm almost in the zone. So please go as you feel like.
Okay, so next what I would like to do is, there is the third part of the book, which was actually the part for the third week read. So it is changing attitudes. So it talks about, one minute, I'll just share my screen. Okay, yeah. So it talks about changing attitudes. So set your goal, take small steps, and celebrate your victories. This is what changing attitudes involves. Okay, so for doing that, first we have to identify which of the destructive attitudes and what is the solution. So I just want you all to taste how you can use this as a workbook, referring back wherever you feel that this is missing, and how do you bring back joy, love, and peace, right? So anyone would like to volunteer which of these destructive attitudes should we read? Any two of it? Would you like to read about unworthiness, loneliness? needy, self-critical?
I can volunteer if there is no one. If anyone else wants to, I would love to give them a chance.
No, you can go ahead. Just choose anything, any of this first level, any two of this first level.
So I have to choose from sadness.
From sadness.
Okay. So I can go with one of it, or I have to choose two.
You can select any two which appeals to you immediately, which you think you have to work on, and you can just read about it. So we can just go to that section and read about it. So that is the exercise that I want to do now.
Okay, okay. So I would want to read about 8 indecisive
Hmm.
and 6 lost, maybe.
Okay.
6 and 8, or 6 and 9, maybe.
Okay.
Passive and
Then,
lost, maybe. Or,
okay.
okay, indecisive. 8 and 6.
Okay, indecisive, right? Okay.
Actually, I want to read off all of them, but to choose it was difficult. Yeah. But yeah, let's start
So,
with this.
so final is 6 and 8.
Yeah, yeah. For now, yeah.
Okay. So 6. I'll take up 6. Yeah. So what is the attitude that we are looking at? Lost. Okay. What is that? Also can be said as distorted, meaningless, unanchored. So what is the solution for this? Find your purpose. If you're constantly feeling lost, you have to just dig a bit deeper, find your purpose. So what are you experiencing when you say lost? Feel lost in the question, why am I here? Or wonder why you feel empty and what would bring you more joy, love, and peace. Or confuse your life purpose with material goals such as being a wife and mother or earning a lot of money. Right? So, what you are experiencing gives the different ways how you are looking at, possibly looking at the attitude lost. Right? Now, what is the price you pay with having a attitude of being lost? Envying others who seem to know and are living their purpose, feeling lost in the world like you don't belong anywhere, feeling something is missing, never quite happy with your life, bouncing from doing new thing to new thing, desperately trying to find meaning. Right? How can you change this? Reflect on the following questions a few minutes daily and write down your answers. Why am I here? What am I doing? Where am I going? What is my purpose? What do I truly want? What is truly important to me? Suspend judgment about responses. Keep asking questions on regular basis and eventually something satisfying will emerge. Repeat what feels right to confirm its validity. Your purpose will get stronger and sweeter each time you affirm it. If not, go back and ask yourself these questions some more. Be patient and persist in your inquiry. Power on. Whatever your purpose, remind yourself of it frequently. I'm here to be happy. I'm here to create joy, love, and peace. I'm here to be loving. I want to contribute to make the planet more peaceful. I want to make the world a better place. These are empowering statements which which one keep on reading, it gets drilled down and shows up basically in your approach. The upside, you keep on track in moments of doubt. So this will make you grounded in case doubt arises. You can separate the important from the trivial. Just focus on what is important for you. You feel content knowing the reason you are alive today, tomorrow, until you take your last breath. You can put whatever happens in your life into perspective. You know your life direction and what is fundamentally important. You have a beacon to help make moment to moment choices today. So, this is more of a grounding thing. You understand deeply as to what is your calling, right? What is the next one you had said, Mansi? Sorry, I
Indecisive. 8.
ate. Okay, indecisive. So similarly, we'll read for indecisive, ambivalent, stuck, unclear. The solution is sift your priorities. Sift means looking what are your priorities. If you list down, just go through which is more important for you. You are experiencing. When you say you are indecisive, what are you experiencing? Agonize endlessly over an issue, whether it's to break up with a partner, take a new job, or rent an apartment. So any decision becomes a like a mountain which cannot be overcome. Dwell on just a few aspects of the decision instead of seeing whole picture. So you will just stop thinking there because you always feel it's difficult for me to make decision. So you don't get on the table, put things on paper, see various perspective. Yeah, feel confused about what's really important to you. The price you pay, having an attitude of being indecisive, allowing someone or something else to determine your fate, losing time that could be spent on enjoying the present moment, feeling stuck and down on yourself for not being clear, staying in untenable situations long beyond your what's sensible. Right? So you're basically into yourself and not looking at things, not looking at the reality or the possibility. How to change? Use the priority sifter to gain perspective about your dilemma. To use the sifter, write out a list of ideal qualities you would like if you could have it all. Come up with at least 30 items. Then rate the persons or situations on each quality, assigning a 1 if it has that quality, 0 if they don't, and 1.5 if they have it somehow. When you are finished, add up your total, then divide your total by the number of ideal qualities to yield a percentage. Determine what percentage you require. Remember, in school 90% is A, 80% is B, 70 is C, 60 is D, and below that an F. Assess your percentage. Check your results with your intuition. Realize and accept that they are just fine the way they are. Power on your conclusion and express the emotions that arise. Accept qualities he has that you don't like. In areas of differences, find workable solutions. The upside, you gain clarity and perspective about what is true for you. You are able to make a firm decision. Right? So, this is how you move forward and refocus on relishing the present and living life. You can stop dwelling on what you don't like. So this is the list, qualities, ratings, and how you can derive the number, and check for yourself what is important here, what is the priority in making this decision right now, right? So this is just to understand how this book works and how we can actually use this book to work out whatever attitudes we want to work on specifically, not needed necessarily to go through the and all the attitudes that we have here listed. Anyone would like to go for the other attitudes, or just the sample of 2 is enough? This is for sadness to joy we have read. So I think we can take up one more.
I would like we read on self-critical.
Self-critical. Which is, did you see the number, sir?
4 number 4.
Okay. So would you like to read, sir, or you would?
Yeah, I would like to read.
Sir. Yes, this is the one.
Self-critical attitude, self-critical, self-deprecating, self-loathing, demanding perfection. Solution is appreciate yourself. What you are experiencing, believe your caretakers, parents, or others' negative judgments and demeaning labels. Trace yourself by calling yourself stupid, pathetic, a loser. Turn anger inward and beat yourself up for not living up to your unreasonably high expectations with I should have or I should not have. Take one problem and turn it into two. Add brutal self loathing to the mistake itself. A social blunder poor financial decision, or thoughtless comment. The price you pay, pressuring yourself to do and say everything perfectly, dread making mistakes and taking risks, hating yourself, making self deprecating comments, punishing yourself, such as cutting or starving yourself, raising the bar to be perfect, believing your worth is determined by what you do, expecting unrealistic possibilities, judging yourself negatively, limiting your own potential. How to change? When you make mistakes, praise what you did well and look for the lesson. Second, replace self demeaning messages with self appreciations, either when berating yourself or being criticized by others. 3. Ignore discomfort in saying nice things about yourself. Start with something small like a positive trait, talent, or quality. Fourth, compliment your abilities, characteristics, qualities, efforts. Fifth, recite self appreciations and soak in their meaning. Stand tall and proud. Nod your head up and down and physically express any emotions that surface. Laughing is good. Try writing one, two, or three self appreciations each day, and at the end of a week, read list out loud with enthusiasm, conviction, and a smile. Power on. Vigorously interrupt all the yes, buts, or discounting thoughts while appreciating self. I have a good sense of humor and can be funny. I am dependable friend. I exercise and eat healthy food. I am a loving mom. I keep in touch with my grandfather. Start small and appreciate little accomplishments. I paid my rent on time. I have registered donuts for 3 days. I did not say something grumpy when the alarm went off this morning. I helped my neighbor jump start his car's battery. To make statements more powerful, begin sentences with I appreciate that, I like that, or I love that, I. So we repeat I twice. The upside. You accept and respect yourself, are gentle with yourself, and become your biggest fan. You feel proud of your accomplishments and yourself. You are increasingly more confident. Thank you. See,
Thank you
this
for
toolkit I
reading.
find, Manish Selvi, very wonderful. 33 instances, 11 sadness, 11 fear, 11 anger. Great.
Right, sir. Thank you. Anybody else would like to read something else, say from the anger part of it? Ah. Anybody would like to choose anything from here? Okay, so can we just then stop this discussion here and we can move for sharings? Is it fine? I hope you all got two understanding of how the attitudes and the solutions work in this book. There are three sections primarily here. One is from sadness to joy. There is the 11 attitudes. Then from anger to love, there are 11 attitudes. And then there are 11 attitudes for fear to peace. So you have to just see which is what you want to work on and click on the corresponding things, and it will take, say, 11. It will take you to that specific part of it and you can go through. So just reading it gives you a comfort that we as human have different attitudes and this is normal. And then we start that what actually we verbalize, what are we experiencing. We actually don't sit and think, when I say mean spirited or aggressive, what does that actually feel inside, what am I experiencing. So this gives as words and see what relates to you. This can be any of the 5 pointers under this, what you are experiencing, not necessarily everything, or there can be a combination. Yes, sir.
I would like in the fear to read about controlling. 10th point.
Okay. Anybody would like to take up reading this point of controlling?
I can
Yeah.
read if no one wants to read. Yes. Attitude controlling, domineering, phobic, obsessive, compulsive. Solution let go. What you are experiencing. Try to control all situations to reduce fear. Exert power over people and your world to reduce insecurity and anxiety. Seize control, take the lead, plan obsessively, or organize the chaos. Attempt to make the unpredictable world more certain. Shape the future to your liking. Develop elaborate rituals in order to feel safe. The price you pay. Struggling with enjoying life. Putting your wants first and selfishly disregarding others' needs and desires. Sacrificing your connection with others by feeling entitled to press own agenda. Exerting power over others, money, a job, approval, etc., as leverage to get your way. Pushing others to resist, rebel, or distance themselves because of your actions. Obsessing and practicing hypervigilance, such as feeling compelled to perform irrational action. If I don't check on my girlfriend, something terrible will happen. Engaging in an ordinary acts over and over again, I need to triple check that I locked the door, or I'll drive myself nuts. And avoiding certain normal situations with phobias. If a spider crawled over my face while I'm sleeping, I have a heart attack. Feeding fears, making life more rigid, ultimately feel controlled by external. How to change? Realize relinquishing control won't kill you, make you weak or irresponsible. Take a cue from the serenity prayer. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Stop running away, face your fears head on. Pause. Shiver like crazy when you feel fear. Pound or cry when anger or sadness arise. Make a list of what you're afraid of, from mildest to most intense. Expose yourself to what you avoid in little doses. And deal with emotions, especially shiver. Keep confronting different situations until emotional charge has dissipated. Don't feed thoughts that perpetuate fears. Congratulate yourself for each little step, no matter how small. Power on. Everything is or will be alright. I'll do what I can, and the rest is out of my hands. I let go. I surrender. Everything is unfolding in its own time. We'll see. The upside. You feel liberated, and rest is more abiding peace. You realize that love is a sweeter reward than having things always go your way. You understand love requires teamwork, cooperation, and personal sacrifice. You surrender the need to be in charge. Trust, faith, amusement grow. You understand the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. You gracefully participate in what's happening, feel more connected, creative, flexible. You experience the freedom to be relatively normal again. Wow, this was so beautiful. I could actually envision some of the people in my life and I could relate so much. This is so deep actually, right? The thing that she's given, I wonder how much of understanding of life and work and emotion she must have put into all this. Such a beautiful book. Thank you for
Yeah.
picking this up for us, Maniselvi.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Mansi. So anybody else wants anything else to be read out of these attitudes?
I just wish we if we can just read it together like sometime, like maybe in 2026, if that's okay, like some other time.
Okay, we'll see. Right now, anybody would like, or we should just conclude this and move on to the next? Yeah,
I think we can conclude because we otherwise won't get
running
time
our
to
time. Yeah,
share.
okay.
Yeah, and there is a lot, right? I think that book is deep, so we won't finish how much ever we read.
Yeah, that is the reason this format was adopted, because it's a more of a self-understanding and self-reflection this book requires. Yeah.
No,
So
it was
moving on to
beautiful.
the discussion prompts. What resonated most? Which attitude to remodel? Applying joy, love, peace in life? Any experiences, any challenges, or any success that you would like to share?
So I have
Anyone?
some shares not related to like challenges or success, anything as such in general, but some insights that came in through while reading. One, I feel uh, we this book is more of a study kind of a book, so where we need to go deeper and study it really, and not just it is a lot of deep work that is needed. While it's like a workbook as you suggested, right? Like it's like you actually work on the things and you reflect, and it you we might want to go slow with it. And I feel this not just help us understand ourselves deeply, but even others. Like when we find others going through something, or I feel um, like struggling with certain kind of attitude, we it helps us understand people deeply. Like why is the person like this? Like when we read the part like controlling, indecisive, whatever, it could be relevant to ourselves as well as others. So I feel this was very profound. And personally, like for me, one thing I just remembered, I related, like I keep mentioning about one of this retreat that I was part of. It was a life changing experience for me. And as a memory and as a takeaway, we took some like they just gave away a few things, or they just sold them out, that were displayed in the space as a memory. So I remember I have that acrylic cutout with me, which says the exact three words: love, joy, and peace. And I was so much it just brought a smile on my face. I felt, oh my God, I just have those exact words with me, which really want to display somewhere in my space now as a memory or as a reminder. So so beautiful. So yeah, very very nice. And yeah, I could very much connect with all the parts that we read today. And even the as you last time which we talked about the attitude, the initial part, she's got a quiz, right? Which helps you understand your own attitude constitution, something that she calls emotional constitution or something like that. So even that was very nice. So so the depth that she's taken us into actually will help us work on ourselves with the book. It's not like a reading only book, it's more of a life changing book, I would say. So I'm totally grateful, and I'm so much happy and grateful that you took this up. I was not aware of this book, and so grateful to have got this into my life through you, Mani Salvi. I just want to go deeper and read it like peacefully, Shanti say, and reflect upon it step by step. Thank you so much. Yeah. And I
Anybody
don't know,
else?
sorry, one more addition. Like I don't know, when you were presenting today, I could feel the depth of the topic, and so much of have gone into it already. So I don't know if it was because you reflected it in such a deeper way and the way you presented it, or was it really if I would have felt the same if I had read it alone myself too. But definitely a very deep workbook, and I would definitely want to go slow and go deeper into it and read it and make the most of it. I have not really fully completed it, so that's like on my list now, and I'm going to do it sooner. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Mansi. So my recommendation would be have this as part of your books that you keep on your shelf. Refer to it whenever you need feel the urge to have a look. And
Yeah, I felt that. I felt that like when we were going through those emotions, I felt this is like a go-to book. Like when you feel a certain emotion, you actually go to that part and you work on it. Like that is how it should be treated, I felt. So I'm actually going to buy a hard copy of it right away.
yeah, and you could also keep a copy. You could take the printout of the attitude bulletin if the book is not possible, which I had shared in the group, which is sorry, attitude blueprint, which is nothing but there is this on one side, on the left side, if you see, it is listed as sadness, anger, and fear, and how the other side is joy, love, and peace. So if you have both of them in front of you, you can start reading it as and when you have time, and then gradually you will see a shift towards the right side of it, that is towards joy, towards love, and towards peace. So do keep a printout of that in front of your desk or wherever
That
you
that is
feel that is.
also that is from the book itself.
Yeah, I actually have given I think it comes when you get a hard copy of it, but I have downloaded it from the author's website and I had circulated in the group.
Can you please reshare it? I think because I think it's lost in the ocean of
I'll do that.
messages.
I will do
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
that. Yeah. So anybody else would like to share anything which resonated, any attitude they, yeah, Ranjita.
Yeah. Uh, Thanks, Mansalvi, for the presentation. It's good. For me, emotions we do have, but see, we what we think attitudes are nothing but it's similar to beliefs, right? But we never thought beliefs are our attitudes are related to an emotion. This book has made it very clear how different attitudes we carry are because of a particular emotion we have felt for long time or we have not expressed for long time. It's not we felt. When we don't express an emotion, we may develop a particular attitude, and then ultimately it will lead us, if it is a destructive attitude, we will see destructive consequences, and if it is in constructive attitude, we will be facing constructive consequences. She has really made it very clear and easy to identify.
Right, right. Thanks,
Thank you.
Ranjita, to actually bring that point so clearly out. Yeah. Anything else you would like to share? Okay. Adukya sir, you want to say something?
Yeah. See, this book is a very wonderful book to be kept on our table. What I liked is the five toolkit author speaks, emotions, thoughts, intuitions, speech, and actions. So maybe an acronym ATISA. And what, emotions brings thoughts at a physical level. And then we have an intuition. Now I feel speech and action, they are the remedy, they are the medicine. Like one should speak out and one should take action to come out of those negative emotions, sadness, anger, and fear, and convert them into joy, love, and peace. And what I liked is this the tables where we read out at least four of them. So for each thing, how we can take action, speak out, intuitions. So it's a wonderful. It is an encyclopedia on emotions, I would say. Like if somebody wants a solution and everything can be understood. This is what I feel. Thank you, Manish Elvi, for picking up this book and putting a reminder. Friday, we are reading Friday. So in bits and pieces, we read. Like last Friday, I felt, we are going to discuss before that. So thank you for keeping on reminding that we are going to discuss this summary. So that made us to read some chapters, something out of this book. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. if you see the book, even the author says, you can pick any section and you can read. So that readability is there, and you will definitely benefit from whichever section you opt for. And if you have a particular understanding, once you get how the book is structured, then you can use it more efficiently. Yeah, Milinji, you want to share something? Please go ahead.
Yeah, quick addition from my end. Anyway, everyone, thank you, Manasilvi, for taking this particular book and all your efforts, presenting this book to us last 3 Fridays. Yes, Emotional Agility, which is the first book, I think we got connected on the emotion area. Otherwise, previously, I read so many books, but not of this depth. Emotional Agility, then Mountain is You, and this one. So the sequence in which you are bringing this book to us. Otherwise, I don't know, these books are available in the world, but it's tremendously helped me a lot in last 1 year, all these 3 books. And life gives you the chance, the whole book is as you just mentioned today, it is the mirror reflection. It is keep your life in front of you. And yeah, so just connecting during today's call, you just change should to could. So I like that because it directly connects to the Sedona technique, which is really really effective, like EFT release technique and Sedona, which I use. The release techniques to release the negative emotions, and there we ask these 3 questions. Like, yes, when these emotions are with you, no negative emotions, then you ask these 3 questions, which really connects what you said today. Could you means, really, could you get rid of this emotion? So answer is yes. Would you really, are you willing to get rid of? Because many times situation happens where you don't want to release those anger and those negative, we are so stuck to it. So that is the second question in Sedona method they ask. And third question is really key for me, and which I love. Third question is when. That question marks is there, when you want to do that. So the answer is always now. So yes, good, everyone agreed here. Yes, this is some book there on their shelf. It is our daily companion and all that. But the third question which stuck me here, and again from after today's sharing, is when we are going to do that, implement that, and the time is now actually. So yeah, that is for something for me. How to convert this into the regular practice, you already share PDF to take the printout. So yeah, I'm creating my cards, my this thing which is on my desk for my daily reminder. So thank you very much, everyone. Again, everyone actually, being the part of this journey. Beautiful book reading, and it is actually I'm getting a lot of benefits out of all this reading session. Awesome sessions. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your participation. Thank you.
Thank you, Milinji, for adding that. Yes, definitely. See, the thing is, a lot of hesitance around why we reading emotions related books. So, since it is so important, this book, I felt that we should at least give it a chance. And even if you have not read it enough, do read it whenever it feels like. Just maybe it can be in your list of reads where something with related to emotions you can read. But if you say the way we had structured it for 3 weeks, ideally first 2 weeks is where we have to actually try and read a bit. Third week is just reflecting on uh, the first 2 weeks, because the attitudes in the chapter that we just read a few parts of it, it's more of where you want to work on. So it's more of a reflective as to, but the base understanding comes in the first 200 pages alone. So if you even if you have not finished it, no problem, you can just have it as a reference. As I said, and the the blueprint you can have it, and these structured tables that you can have, or frameworks you can pick from this book and have a printout of that and refer to it whenever you think it is a right time to refer it. There is a difficulty. Yeah. So finally, anyone else would like to share anything right now? Okay. So moving on. Now,
May I have 2
yeah,
minutes?
please.
Yeah, hi everyone. So I'm joining for the first time. I'm not even reading the book, but since I was busy, I couldn't uh, like a plan of reading along. But it was actually wonderful when I joined. I joined around 58. So I was expecting only your summarization because I love the way Maniselvi you summarize na, everything. So I thought I might get a glimpse of the book and a total summary what you present. It's really always it's wonderful. But luckily, I also got to read along what you were reading, and that was a very wonderful portion about control, the attitudes and the control, and the way it has been written, the ups and downs, how we feel it at a particular situation, or how we feel when we are in a particular emotion. That was quite relatable, and I think I would be reading along. I was searching for the PDF as well throughout this session whenever I joined, but I couldn't find. But definitely, maybe in the next week, definitely I'll be joining you along. And thank you so much. It's really wonderful book.
We
Thank you
we are
so much.
not reading it, Anjali. Like
Nice. No, no, but you read a small portion, no? Whatever it was for revision or what, because I have never
no,
joined
no,
before.
the
I don't know the
today is
format.
the last day. Like basically,
Oh, is
the
it?
way we have approached, yeah, the way we have approached this book is like
Huh.
Selvi, because it's a very deep book. Selvi decided as a self-reading. So she has been doing it like since 3 weeks, and today she just presented because she has finished reading it. Many of us have not. We are somewhere in the middle, but it's
Hmm.
like a
I
self-reading
saw
that
some
we took.
pages, then the number of
Yeah.
pages were mentioned. So I thought you
That
people
was
are
that
still
was like no,
in.
that was like a reminder for everyone to. But yes, I am definitely looking forward to read it. So maybe we can read it together sometime. Yeah. Anyone
Yes,
else
yeah, it's
to read it
wonderful
together?
book.
We can do something. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. So I missed it. Never mind. We'll go for it again. We'll plan. Thank you so
Watch
much,
this.
Manish.
Today's session is recorded. So Mani Salvi has very beautifully shared everything as her insights in this. So you can actually go through the recording. We will share that with in the group or something, like I don't know.
Okay,
Like
done, done.
Mani Salvi, you want to share something? Like please do. Like I just impulsively shared the structure with her, but please take
Yeah,
it over.
because I was unaware, and thank you. I really thought it would be going for the next week also. So I was planning to read the book, full book throughout, like this week, and
No, no.
join
You do
tomorrow.
plan. You do plan. Even I am planning to read the full book
ठीक
after
है,
today's
चलो
session.
we'll do it
But
together.
Manisha ji, please add to this. I just shared her because I realized that she is not aware of it. So just please continue.
Yeah, so Anjali, if you see, the reason I had specifically put it in the agenda that we are going to read this attitude is just to give a taste of what this book holds in terms of handling these attitudes. What are the different layers it reveals for each attitude that we have to work on? So once you understand that how it can help you, then definitely you would want to read it and use it whenever actually the time arises. So thanks for acknowledging that it was helpful, and hope you can actually use this in a much better
Yes,
manner
yes,
once
yes.
you understand the framework in which it is actually written. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because that thing, what Ranjita also shared, now that our attitudes are formed, and it's the emotions which we are carrying in our attitude, and somewhere that controlling part, it is a kind of reflection of those attitude, or those fear or anxieties which are somewhere buried inside us. So that comes out when we are reacting to or responding to a situation. I would use reacting because that is the right word here, because unknowingly we are reacting to a situation, and it is born, or it has given it is formed a shape because of that fear or anxiety which is somewhere buried. So definitely yes, we need to understand that how it has formed, and how we are reacting, and we need to be aware of the fact that this is not the way, why is it being we are being controlled with our those wrong emotions or those negative emotions, how we are being controlled. So yes, I understand. I need to go through it again. Sorry to interrupt, Maniselvi. Yeah, please
yeah,
carry
thanks, Anjali. Actually, you summed it up well. That's the conclusion that we are on, actually. Let us move from compulsive to conscious behavior, right? When I say compulsive, it is a pattern behavior, and that is behavior has been built over a past years. due to non-expressing, due to thinking in a certain way which is distorted, due to not accepting certain things. There are many reasons to it. So the books will give you a specific structure. How do you handle that thing that you feel as an obstruction in your life, right? And this reminds me of a point which Sadhguru says in the book Karma, which also parallelly tend to read it, right? So he said a very wonderful thing. He said that when you talk about consciousness, it is natural, it is not a matter of behavior, it's nature of existence. So consciousness is a nature of existence. That's how we have to be. But what has happened? We have become compulsive. Compulsiveness is a behavior, right? So whenever there is a urge of compulsiveness in us, we have to pause and access our consciousness to move out of it, right? So this read along with the book Karma by Sadhguru actually gave me a quite a fulfilling way of looking at things. Shape your inner world, pause, release, and respond consciously. Every choice matters. Each mindful action moves you towards joy, peace, and your truest self, which is love, basically. Yeah. So thank you everyone for your patient hearing and to be so participative. Yeah. Hope all this knowledge that we gain turns into wisdom, and we really enjoy joy, love, and peace. Yeah. So thank you. Anyone would
Thank
like to
you
say
so
anything,
much.
or can we conclude for the day?
Others, maybe someone who's not shared or want to share something. Yes, Krishna and Suman, Milinji, anyone? Maniji? It was a beautiful session, Maniselvi. I'm actually grateful we recorded it because I would definitely want to go back to it and rewatch it. So thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thanks everyone. Okay. Have a nice weekend. Chalo, bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. See you all. Are we taking a summary of today's? Do you want me to do something?